Hey, everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and we are going to do something a little different today. Okay, sometimes when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. I used to watch Bob Ross as a kid on PBS, and he would do these little happy accident trees, and all of a sudden he'd mess up, and then all of a sudden he'd have some exquisite masterpiece. So let's see if we can't make an exquisite masterpiece, or at least something we can sell for $100 at the mall today. My guest didn't work out, so that means I'm the guest, but my commitment to y'all is that we will deliver a show. So what I want to ask you to do is I want to ask you to ask me something. Now, I've got a few questions that have come in the past, and I've kind of brought those together. But we're going to do a live Q&A. You can ask me anything. You can give me any topic. I promise I will answer anything and everything, no matter how absurd, ridiculous, or whatever. I will answer it. I will give you my best. Let's see. We got Mike quickly coming in. This show is really going to be all about y'all right there. Mike, what's up? Bob Ross rocks. Yeah. Bob Ross does rock. And did you know that Bob Ross never sold any of his paintings? There's like a Bob Ross school where they just have all his stuff collected, and he's never, to my knowledge, I don't think he sold very few of them. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, hey Mike, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Ask me a question, give me a topic. I want to hear from you. Valerie McKenzie, how was your birthday weekend? That's a fantastic first question. Valerie, I will definitely answer that one. Hit that like button, throw a little heart out there, give me some love, give me some encouragement here, okay? Because I'm gonna try to keep this interesting for you here, and I'm going to answer all of your questions. So let's get them in the comments here. I think it should just be Janet today, says Tim Quirk. Tim, you're a real sweetie there, Tim. You know that? I'm trying to pull this up on the LinkedIn. I love when stuff doesn't work and you're trying to do things live. See, all you other people that pre-record stuff, you guys that's weak. All right, come on here. I'm trying to get this up on whatever. Anyway, let's see here. Carl Weaver, I want to know how you got started doing these videos. Awesome question, Carl. All right, I'm going to hop right in here. As you come in, please leave it in the comments. Give yourself a shout out. I want to give you a shout out. Let me know where in the world you are right now, what's on your mind, anything, everything, whatever's on your mind. I want to hear about it. Have you heard something inspiring today? I want to hear about that. I want to riff on that. And let's see here. So let's go in order here. Valerie, how was your birthday weekend? Birthday weekend was super special. Such a blessing. We did a roast, as many of you know, on Friday. Shout out to everybody that roasted me. Shout out to Janet Turner for pulling it together. Shout out to Thomas Bailey for hosting. Shout out to Ben Heller for just crushing it. He killed it. Just straight killed it. He prepared, he was just amazing. I think he called me a Cabbage Patch Kid wearing Brooks Brothers that got peed on, I think is what he said, which I didn't 100% understand the peed on reference, but I think it was due to the fact that when you're a large man that wears three-piece suits, you tend to sweat, especially when ERC wants to hold events in Houston, San Diego, Orlando, etc. So yeah, sometimes I feel a little peed on, but it was fantastic. Lots of love. I'm so fortunate, really. I appreciate every one of you. Honestly, you people are just incredible. So thank you so much. Give yourselves a little love for me here. Trying to get my little dealio here. I don't know why my LinkedIn won't work, but anyway, throw a like in there for me because I can't do it right now. I'm trying to give you guys a little love here. There it is. One moment here. Keep those coming. I want to see the comments there. Don't give up on me here, people. There we go. I see Carolina in here. I see Jen Breen. I want to see you all. Is that Darren? There's Darren Burley's in there. Hey, from Seattle. This is great. Tim says, I think it's to be Janet today. Yeah, that'd be cool. Ingrid, I see you backstage here, Ingrid. I also put the link to this. I'm always trying something different. That's the cool thing about just coming up with stuff on your own. You can do whatever you want. I put an actual link to the show in the not the comment, I don't know what it's called, the description. So you can actually come into the studio with me right now and ask me a question live on the air if you want, get a little FaceTime. Ingrid is backstage. I don't know if she means to be backstage. This is the other thing. When you put the links to stuff, people just start clicking links. And sometimes they end up backstage. And like one dude like came backstage and he was like in his basement and there was like a random coat hanger hanging from the ceiling. And it was just really weird. And he thought he was just watching it, but he was actually in the studio. Anyway, so you can come in the studio, get weird with me. Mike Quigley, how do you find the time to be everywhere all the time? You know, Mike, people ask me this, and the truth is I don't do anything really. I just tape everything. And if you just tape everything, then it looks like you're everywhere all the time. And they say, how do you find the time to do this in your day job? And I was like, I just whatever I do, I just put it on the internet. And so Michael, happy little trees. He's out in Cali, so he's definitely on those happy little trees out there. Carl Weaver, I want to know how you got started with doing these videos. Yeah, thanks, Carl. You know, I got LinkedIn Live October 31st of last year. I remember it was Halloween. And I just was like, you know what, you gotta say something. You have a platform. I always felt like I had something on my heart that I wanted to like put out there in the world. I didn't feel like growing up and like wherever I worked, I didn't feel like I had enough of a voice or enough of a say so. And so I kind of told myself if I ever had the opportunity, I would take it. And I listened to a lot of great speakers. Rory Vaden used to always talk about getting stage time. Gary Vee, huge fan. And so these people just encourage like putting yourself out there. And so I did it. And I've been doing LinkedIn content though for like 6, 7, 8 years, frankly. I've been on LinkedIn since 2006, actually. Like March of 2006, Mickey Shipley invited me back when you actually had to be invited. Somebody actually had to invite you. Hey, if somebody ever did anything for you in your life, why don't you tag them right now and give them a shout out? Love to hear about it. Jennifer Breen, great job on the panel this morning. Thank you, Jen. Appreciate that. Temp housing is kind of a new thing for me. So getting to moderate that session today. Shout out to the Alta Vita Corporate Housing Symposium, which is going on this week. It was fantastic. Today we had Jack Jampel, Global Mobility Manager from Stryker, as you all know, friend of the show. We had Laura Barone from, she's the Director of Contracts and Global Compliance for Ayers. We have Veronica Kim, who was the Global Category Manager at Grable Companies. So we had those three on there talking about unlocking opportunities. If you did not get a chance to see it, I highly recommend you go register for the Alta Vita Symposium right now. It's free of charge. It is 1 hour per day for the rest of the week. We're 1 day in. There's an award ceremony. There's going to be a lot of real estate investors. Let's see, Ingrid's she keeps popping in and popping out. I think it's hilarious. Let's see here. Jack says, let me think of a good one. Please do, Jack. Fernando, what's up? Fernando in Brazil. Loving your Instagram, Fernando. Love seeing the family. Love seeing you out there running. It's awesome. Shouts to Jack. What up, Darren? Ben Sukia, hey, from London. Hey, Ben, I saw an article on LinkedIn. I thought of you, and it said, does capitalism need a reboot? And I thought of your donuts. So I would love to hear a question from you. Darren, I'd love to hear a question from you or a topic from you. Fernando, I'd love to hear something from you. Quigg says, Heller was perfect. You know he's not lying. Actually stopped golfing to watch that. Who is your favorite coworker of all time? Tim, we call this fishing. This is where you're fishing for compliments. Favorite coworker, that's really hard because I think you guys would all know, anybody that works with me knows that I don't really appreciate my coworkers very much. So I think that's really difficult. Probably it's got to be my wife. I started in the biz with my wife. We were working at the Pods call centers together, and we both got hired in like March 16th of 2006. And she's got to be my favorite coworker. Yeah. Number 2 would probably be Travis Washer, who I've worked at 3 different companies. Number 3 would probably be Sunny Singh. Big fan of Sunny's. Oh gosh, number 4, Tim, I don't know. You probably got about 5 in front of you. Probably number 6, buddy. Love you, man. Francine, walk us through a day in your life. How do you make time to take care of your clients, reach out to new people, prepare for these shows, service selflessly? First, you got to hydrate. 100%. Thank you, Francine. I think you give me too much credit. How do you make time to take care of your clients? Honestly, I have a great team. The team takes care of the clients for the most part. If they call me if they need extra taken care of, and then I do something miraculous for them. But generally, the team downstairs does 98% of the work. So I'm fortunate there. Reach out to new people. Well, that's kind of this. Really, I don't really cold call people. I don't really, I put myself out there, and if people like it, they opt in. So I'm pretty blessed there. Thank you. Prepare for these shows. Again, people who have been on this show will tell you there's very little preparation that goes into this. But I'm fortunate, really, really super blessed that Janet helps a lot of times. She prepares, she gets schedules set for the week. People turn in a questionnaire, to come on, which gives us about 15 different talking points that we work through. And then I kind of, about 15 minutes prior to airtime, I read that, familiarize myself with it. And then, 15 minutes, 45 to the hour, I get in the booth with people, and then we kind of warm up, do tech check, etc., kind of get to know one another. A lot of people that have on the show I've never even met before. So that's kind of our opportunity to kind of break the ice and get things kind of melding and gelling. And then we go live, and then serve us selflessly. I'll be honest, Francine, it's not 100% selfless. I get so much. My heart is so full. I've been using that a lot lately. My heart is so full. If your heart is like a vessel, right? If your heart is a cup, my heart is so full from people like you, Francine. Just looking at Ben, Michael, Tim, Henri. This dude sent me a video for my birthday that just brought a tear to my eye this morning. He was in Bordeaux sending me a vid, and just talking about kind of how, what the show means to him and everything. And so frankly, that was tremendous. Hit that like button out there. Want to hear your comments here. I've seen some good comments here. Henri says, my wife is watching and asking if you're trying to look like James Corden or is a natural gift. First of all, you need to watch your wife. Okay. Second of all, no, people tell me that all the time. I'm an attractive large man. I think that's my niche right there. Right. I always tell my wife I'm going to be a plus size model one day. Martin wants to know, when are you getting a new haircut? Marty Party, let me tell you something. Okay. This has actually been an evolution here. I'm actually on kind of a less product, kind of more touchable flow kind of right now. And, still with the side part maintained here. That's not a hard part. That's a straight comb part there. So, this is a bit of a new hairstyle. What did you have in mind, Martin? Let me know. You can let me know what kind of haircut you think I should transition to. I'm very curious. Jack, what food would you absolutely never eat? And also the strangest thing you've ever eaten? So I used to live in Dallas, and me and my wife used to love going to Fort Worth to the stockyards. And let me know if anybody's ever been to the stockyards. I know we have a lot of DFWers out there. And so there's this place called Lonesome Dove in the stockyards, right? And it's Fort Worth is one of my top 5 favorite party cities. And so we go to Lonesome Dove. It's like a steakhouse, like an old Western style steakhouse, whatever. And I took my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law from Staten Island, New York, to Lonesome Dove Steakhouse. I'm buying whatever you want, go crazy, think I'm gonna have the chicken fried steak, I think somebody might have had a T-bone. I don't even know what, right? Anyway. But for an appetizer, we get the calf fries. And so we shared the calf fries, which are these nice deep breaded, kind of light, succulent appetizers. They're almost like a fried mushroom. If you ever had a fried mushroom, breaded, crispy, bite into it, a sweet earthiness that just kind of explodes. And so we're passing those around, and my mother-in-law says, what are these? And they're actually deep fried bull testicles. And so that was probably one of the strangest things I've ever eaten. Delicious. And what food would I never eat? You know what? There's a food. So my wife is a quarter Filipino, and I've got some friends that are actually from the Philippines, and there's a food over there, and put it in the comments. Somebody look this up. It's the egg that's like partially germinate or like partially like, it's not an egg, it's like a germinated egg. So it's like becoming a chicken. It's like when the egg goes from being an egg to being a chick, and it's like, but it's like really so everything's soft, so you can still eat the whole thing kind of. It's like becoming a chicken in the egg still. And I think it's bagal maybe or something like that. Can somebody look that up? Bagalo or something. Can somebody look that up, throw that in there. The chicken, the Filipino egg thing. That is what I would never eat. And if somebody has eaten it before and you think it's amazing, tell me, and I will reconsider. I will listen to your arguments. Put it in the comments. I will listen to your argument right now, and I will consider it. But don't send one to my office. Steve, speak to process equipment use. What Janet does. Anyone else? Yeah. So so Steve, cool. The process is we beg people to come on the show, or they reach out, whatever. By the way, if you want to come on the show, it's Balut. Thank you so much, Sandra. If you want to come on the show, or you know somebody who'd be excellent on the show, and I'm not looking for people who are just like going to plug their company, like, oh, let me tell you why Acme Widget Company is just the most tremendous thing in the world. I'm not looking for that. Please do not waste anybody's time with that nonsense. But if you have something to say, if there is something that needs to be said that nobody is talking about, if somebody has it wrong, if there's something that we just have to hear, I want to know that. And we like to have people who are kind of powerful and kind of influential, but I will also give somebody an opportunity who, I've had people on here that don't even have a job, but they have a great story and they have a great message. And so that's cool too. But we like to have people that are relevant, that people can really learn something from, right? That our viewers can learn something from, and that they're genuinely interesting people. So that's kind of the process. So open call for recommendations there. Obviously, we need people, or else I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So that's number one. Number two is they reach out. I kind of say do they pass the eye test? Are they interesting or not? And then Janet reaches out with a questionnaire. Janet, you want to talk about the process a little bit? Janet's like, really? You're going to do this to me right now? Here, Janet, I'm going to bring you on here. Janet,
thanks,
how are you doing?
Sorry, folks, I wasn't prepared for this, but welcome to Love and Relo.
Steve Weidekamp wants to know about our process. So Janet, somebody raises their hand, says, yeah, I want to be on Love and Relo. What's kind of the process from then?
And we also try to think of some fun and interesting people as well. But basically, if Ben has contacts, he will include me in the loop and copy me in. And ask me to send out a questionnaire that we've developed, or I reach out to people and basically we send a questionnaire. We see what dates we have open. I keep a spreadsheet of available dates. And once we get the questionnaire back, we know that they're serious. We look at the content, see if we could build a good show, and then we get them booked. It used to be that we couldn't create a broadcast until 7 days out, but now StreamYard has expanded that, but our schedule sometimes doesn't allow for us to do all this programming with our real jobs. But once we have the schedule, then I create a broadcast built on the content from the questionnaire, and we send the instructions and the invite and just sort of wait for the day. We ask all of our guests to come in 15 minutes ahead of schedule. I am the greeter usually of the guests behind the scenes. I go over what to expect for the show, including making sure their lighting looks good, their sound is good, and that they have a drink. And if they've never seen the show, I just go over what to expect from you. And then, that's the process for me.
Yeah, and so from equipment and stuff, we use StreamYard is the process. The platform we use to broadcast. We do it on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. I use just a webcam built into my, either the webcam built into my laptop or an external Logitech 1080p, which is like $25. Sometimes if I'm feeling crazy, we'll use the Yeti Nano mic that was sent to us from OnQ. Shout out to Kate DeWald over there. And, make sure everybody's got earphones in right there so you're not hearing the sound. But I mean, that's...
If I can just add one more job description to my part is I'm sort of Ben's mother. So I make sure he goes to the bathroom, has his drink, and starts on time.
She does. She does a little checklist. She's like, do you have a drink? Have you gone to the bathroom? Do you have your copy? It's like your notes, It's like, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah. People are saying, okay, this makes sense. Janet's doing all the heavy lifting. For sure. I do want to turn that back around, though, to everybody that is watching right now. I want to ask you for any improvements. Like, are there? There's something I've been wanting to do lately. Actually, start doing top 5 lists. I would love to do a top 5 with every guest that comes on. Have them produce a top 5. And tell us, give me your top 5 anything. I think it'd be fun to chunk it up into segments. Is there any other segment that you would like to propose? Put it in the comments, and this can be an opportunity for us to improve our process even.
And maybe even if someone wants to get involved.
Yeah, Janet's always looking for a replacement.
No.
So if anybody wants...
My life would be lost without Love and Reload, but sometimes I can use some help. But
we always could use more help. That is true. We can always use more help. I've been very hesitant to post for the position just because it doesn't pay very well. But if anybody wants to just expand their network, feel a little love, get a little dose of connectedness every day, I think it's a cool experience. What do you think, Janet?
Yeah, totally. It's been wonderful. And like I said, I can't picture my life without it. But, with both of our full-time jobs, it's another full-time job. So, yeah. Okay.
Martin says, go back. More Jan, less Ben. Oh, goodness. All right. That's fine. Let Janet get back to
I'll come in if you need me again. Okay.
Sounds good, Janet. Thank you.
Bye.
Sorry, Martin. Sorry to disappoint you, buddy. Valerie says, Janet, you do such a wonderful job. Richard, have you written a book? Richard, that is a great question. No, I have not written a book. Janet, have you written a book? Seems like something you would do.
I've written a song.
Would you like to sing it for us?
No.
We can't go there and not sing the song. Actually, Janet writes a song for all the babies in her family. Every time a baby is born, she writes a song. And she just had a grandbaby, Penny, and she wrote a song about Pretty Penny, which was lovely. Richard, but no, I've not written a book, but that is actually something that was one of my top 5 life goals, is to write a book. And I was talking to Robin Vogels last week or 2 weeks ago from Australia, and she has written 2 books, including one when she was in South Africa called Moving Your Shit, and it was a dung beetle on the cover with a big dung ball behind it, and I guess they're big in South Africa. And I was like, that is the most priceless title. I'm mad that you wrote that book, but I think that I think I want to write a book. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on what type of book I should write. Always looking to write something that people actually would want to read. Let's see here. He sings like James Corden too. Oh, you're so funny, Mike Quigley. John Zilka, happy belated birthday, bro. Sorry I missed it on Friday. Yeah, John, no worries, man. Hey, you got a life, you got a family and stuff. You got a million kids. Anka, what is the last thing you learned that either greatly changed your perception or greatly added to your knowledge of the industry? I'll tell you what, some people ask me this all the time, what do you learn when you are doing this, right? And the thing I think that most greatly changed my perception about the industry is I thought I was pretty smart and well connected before I started doing Love and Relo. And I learned I didn't know Jack. I mean, I knew Jack Jampel, but I didn't know squat, honestly. I met, people from the Netherlands, people from France, people from Africa. By the way, we're doing an Africa week in a couple of weeks. It's going to be incredible. The Latam people that we met in Brazil and Mexico, and still working, I think, on getting our first Indian guest living in India. But I mean, I was just like blown away by the breadth and depth of the industry, I think. And I think I've learned what I don't know, which I think is kind of the first step to understanding. And so I know that there's areas that I want to improve my knowledge depth, like immigration, Asia, India, Africa. I think I need to probably learn another language, which is extremely daunting. But those are kind of some of the things that have jumped out to me. And I guess in a weird way, they're not learnings as much as I'm learning that I need to learn in those areas. So Anka, awesome. Great question. Keep these questions coming. Keep these comments coming. Also, hit that like button, by the way. That is really the currency, and that is the only charge for watching the show, is hitting that like button. Beverly King, what will be the hot topics of 2021? Well, Beverly, I think the hottest topic will be how fast we can get this vaccine developed and distributed. I heard Moderna came out with a 94.5% effective vaccine. I don't know if it is a two-step vaccine. I don't know if it needs to be transported at minus 100 degrees. I don't know any of that stuff, but I know that we are all waiting for that. I think that the transition in the U.S., the presidential transition, is going to be closely watched. Hopefully that is peaceful and smooth. I think it is interesting to see what the financial markets are doing right now. And the stock markets have been surging, which is fantastic. I think we're all extremely excited about that. I think they're surging on the news of a potential vaccine. I think they are surging into some part on the heels of the U.S. election news, which is very interesting and almost kind of counter to what I would have predicted. So that's kind of exciting. I think 2021 will be a year where we all come out and hug one another and just love life. And we're just so happy that we can do that and so appreciative. I mean, I think there's something to be said for when markets are hot, and people are making money and our 401ks are big and full and robust, we get a little bit, kind of become jerks sometimes, and we start looking around and telling people that, if they only just would get with the program, they could be successful also. And we kind of lose our empathy, and then a worldwide pandemic comes along and smacks us in the face and pulls the rug out from under us and makes us question everything that we took for granted. And I think that we're going to be more loving. I think that we're going to appreciate one another more. I think that we are going to care. I think that we're going to look at our businesses, not just as bottom lines, but as the people and how are we serving our internal stakeholders as well as our shareholders and our consumers. I think that we're going to start looking at our economies differently to say, not just how does our GDP and our stock market look like, but to Ben Sukia's point about the donut theory, what is the quality of life? What does addiction look like in our, what is the health, the physical health of our citizens look like? So, I mean, those are some of the, hopefully, things that are going to come out of this in 2021. So I'm looking for a more holistic approach to success in 2021. And I'm very, very excited. So thank you, Beverly. Shabina. Ben, if you wrote a white paper on any of the topics you have covered for the industry that you obviously have total passion for, which would you pick? Well, Shabina, this show is the anti-white paper, right? This show is basically founded on the premise that white papers suck and that people should relate to one another and be real people, right? And boil things down to real stuff. So a white paper on the topics we have covered for the industry. I'm going to talk about a white paper I wish I could write. I'm going to talk about a white paper that I wish I could write that I can't. We've covered it, ROI of mobility programs. I've heard people talk about ROI of mobility programs. I hear it usually centers around, uptime, right? How much time does the employee have available? What is their efficiency? What is their productivity when they're not managing their own move and all this stuff? But to me, that's like really kind of like soft and nebulous and depends on like, are they able to work during it or not? And it's like kind of, it's kind of made up. It feels kind of made up to me, honestly. And so I wish we could really understand first what the employee's value is to the organization, like real deal value in currency, dollars and euro. And then once we understood what their actual value was, then I think we could start to identify what is their, in baseball, in American baseball, we call it wins against replacement, right? Well, how much more valuable is this player than this player, right? And what does that delta look like? And so I think in mobility, I'd love to know, what does this player who's been relocated to an assignment, what more value do they bring than this player who was hired locally? And then what is the net long-term value of this player to an organization after they make the rotations, right? And what does that arc look like? I think we've all seen that graph of, if you have a high school degree, you make this much over time. If you have a college, you make this much. If you have a master's or doctorate, you make this much. Like, I'd love to know, like, what is the value of the employee with a, with a talent mobility strategy in place? So I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking. Love to know what you think about that, Shabina. Gosh, the comments are just sick right now. Love it. Love the comments. Michael Philia, love the war reference. Yeah, I think we should Moneyball Relo. I think that'd be sick. Moneyball Relo. All right, let's get through some more of these. Keep these coming. These are fantastic here. Ask Ben any question or topic. Martin, where are you getting a new haircut? Word. Brian Limperopoulos, what is the biggest opportunity for industry trade associations to better represent and serve their members? I think industry trade associations have to really understand their members more. And when I look around, I see varying degrees of this understanding. I think there's a real disconnect between practitioners and industry and associations, right? Practitioners being, let's say, in the instance of relocation, right, the corporates, right? So, and then the industry being like the suppliers, and then the associations being over here. And it's kind of like so far removed that I'm not sure that associations necessarily understand their constituents. And so I think there has to be a real effort to come to the table and understand them without an agenda, but just seeking to understand for understanding's sake. You can figure out later how to market services and add value. But I think first we have to really like understand like friends, like how you know your friend, like how you know what your wife's like she's thinking before she even says it to you. Like we really need to understand our customers. Connor Bonner, how's your day? What a name. It's good, man. It's good. Sick. How's yours? Viva, hi Ben, love the show. If we dream big, where will you be in 5 years from now? If we dream big, where will I be? I think I'd be owning, I'd own several businesses in this space. Probably a media one, probably a disruptor, which is be a service provider supplier one. And maybe a consultancy. I love the Jay-Z model, where he was an artist, but then he also owned like a clothing line and other, and liquor labels. And then he also owned like, Rock Nation and things. And then he also owned, and then he went to work and actually was the president of Def Jam. So I think it's interesting to be an entrepreneur and an executive concurrently. So I think something like that, but some kind of a diversified thing where I'm not really good at everything in a business, but I'm really good at some things that are really important to a business. So I think finding a way to do the things I'm really good at all the time, and not interject myself in areas where I don't add value. I think that'd be ideal. What up, Ed? It's me in San Diego. Let's talk, bro. I'm right here. Let's talk. How's she cutting, Ben? I don't know. That's a very, very forward conversation there. Oh, Ben. I don't even know what that means. Oh, Ben. What type of products? Oh, what type of products in the hair? Crew fiber, typically. Roman Zelichenko, love this format, Ben. Thanks for giving your time and answering questions. It's clear that many people are interested in your personal insights. Hopefully we'll get more Ben time in the future. The fact that you guys even like Ben time to me is kind of shocking, and it's really a revelation. So I'm glad I did this, because it takes a lot of pressure off Janet and I. We may do this again on Wednesday. Giovanni, I see you backstage. Giovanni, if you got a question, let me know. Put your camera on, and I will bring you forward. Michael Philia, who is your favorite character on The Office? Little known fact, I sat next to Stanley in first class going out to LA for my friend's wedding. Giovanni, give me the thumbs up if you want me to bring you out here. Giovanni, give me the thumbs up if you want me to bring you out. He looks wild. He's wild, yo. The internet is a crazy place. But my favorite character, I mean, you gotta love Michael Scott. I mean, he's such a crazy, ridiculous individual, right? And I think like I got like a little bit of Michael Scott in me too, which Martin can probably comment on. So, I mean, Michael Scott's, I mean, he's the best. Ray, hello from Vancouver. Carl Weaver, yep. Balut, Sandra Clary, Balut. Sandra Clary even put a link there for Wikipedia. I think I lost like a 25% of my audience when Sandra Clary put that Wikipedia link there. I think everybody hit that link and went and looked at it and just vomited and just forgot about what I was doing over here. So yeah, come back to us here. Hit that like button if you haven't already done it, and leave a comment and a question. Mike Quigley. Oh, this has got to be, this might be number one. I don't know. Is it dead or alive when you eat it though, Mike? Jungle guinea pig in Colombia. What is it? Okay, Mike, leave a link. Leave a link, y'all. Jamie Master. Hey, Ben, cheers from sunny Mississippi. What up? Yes, people only. All right, Martin, this is funny. So I used to ask this question when I would interview people. Oh, that was so terrible. If I hired you to wash all the windows in Detroit, how would you do it? I would subcontract it. That's what you would do. Martin, you'd subcontract it, you'd crowdsource it. Yep. Richard, wow, glad I had my dinner before I got the egg. Yep, for sure. Rory is so astute. It's shocking. Shocking. Let's see here. Sandra, vetting local segment. What do you mean, Sandra? If you're still watching Sandra De Montano, what do you mean by vetting local segment? I know we were talking about segments for the show, but I'd like to know more about that. Brian Limperopoulos, I would love for you to have a recurring segment with an industry curmudgeon where they just rant about a controversial industry topic for like 5 minutes every few weeks, like Lewis Black on The Daily Show. Yeah. So we did a little bit of this. We did a little bit of this. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. We did a little bit of this before with Larry. Who would be your top? Who would be like top? Give me like three. Give me like three curmudgeons. Like if we did like rants, like say we just did rants. Because I can rant about lump sum, about internet brokers. But Larry Krueger was on. That was interesting. Jack can rant a little bit. But like, give me three people you think just do epic rants, or just one person who does a great rant. Victoria McCullough, thanks for the tip you gave me and Janet on behind the scenes production. Oh, gave me Janet. That's to you, Janet. Nicole, Janet, you're awesome. Everybody loves Janet. We need to start making Janet t-shirts. Brian Limperopoulos. Janet, what do you think? Can we make Janet t-shirts? I'm bringing you back, Janet. Tighten up. Here we come.
Oh,
Janet,
no.
what do you think?
I'm totally not prepared today. Yeah, everybody needs a Janet, right?
Yeah, everybody like a Janet face. Everybody needs a Janet, or like those Jesus is my homeboy, but like Janet is my homeboy. Like something like we need something.
Yeah, what could we do?
Think about that, and then maybe we could put like
with a clipboard and a pencil in my ear,
or like a tea recipe on the back, like all your teas. We could be like a collectible.
Right now, I am having a hibiscus and roasted dandelion root, which is good for your liver and your skin.
So, do you roast your own dandelion
Yes,
root?
I do. But I do buy them from an apothecary in Washington State. So it's not like I grow my own dandelion, because dandelion does not grow well in Florida. So I do buy.
I wish it didn't grow well in Michigan. I got a ton of them up here.
Yeah, you should pick some from me. But so I do buy it from a top-rated apothecary in Ballard, Washington, called Dandelion Botanics. It's a really awesome store.
What are you
And
paying for Dandelion these days? Like, I want to get on this business here. I'll stop weed and feeding in the spring, and I'll
I
actually
mean, you'd have to dry it. It's like I buy the root, so you would have to dig, dry it, and you could also eat the leaves. I mean, if you don't use insecticides, I buy dandelion and saute it with garlic and oil in the store. In an
now. This is
organic
before
store.
this is when they're still yellow before they turn into the.
Well, no, you're going to eat the leaves. They saute the leaves like spinach.
Okay, all right. See,
But the root, so I buy the root raw and then I toast it in a little frying pan and roast my own. Yeah,
and you roast it dry or in oil or
dry,
dry.
totally dry.
Yeah, yeah. Let's Martin's so ridiculous. Martin says, Janet, what are you taking to combat COVID-19?
Well, it's all about the immune system, right? So I've been constantly boosting my immune. Every morning I have a tea that boosts my immune. So I could be using rose hips, elderberry, um, uh, astragalus root, echinacea. So
Astragalus root? Did you just make a word up?
No, I
Astragalus?
didn't. I had to think about it. But
like
I have
asparagus and
blends. I have
astrology?
blends. In fact, I'm just going to be doing a little home sale on Saturday here in my neighborhood with my custom blended teas. I'm going to make my own version of a chai, a tummy tea, and an immune boosting vitamin C tea. Oh, and I also make fire cider, which is apple cider vinegar, honey, cayenne, garlic, onion, horseradish. Yeah, I take that all the time. I'm constantly pumping myself up with stuff. You'll have to email me separately, Martin.
Yeah, can we? Yeah, let's do. We're gonna get a tea. We're gonna get a tea. We're gonna get a tea blend recipe thing coming on here. William Keto. William Keto, we grow fake plants. They have worked well for us in both Michigan and Florida. They also held up well as part of our household goods shipment. On the negative note, they don't taste that good and are hard for the body to process. Hey, Janet, you know this guy backstage here?
I don't know him. No,
he looks like an absolute nut job.
Yeah.
Look at this
He
guy.
wants 4 minutes of time, I guess.
That's what he wants, 4 minutes. That's a lot of minutes. And Henri Dussois, hearing Janet talk about herbs, I feel like I'm playing the Witcher games. This is great. Jack Jampel says, I've never seen him rant. Believe it or not, I hold back. Jack, why are you holding back, Jack? What, I can't handle it?
You know, I think Odette is a ranter, no?
Odette's a good ranter.
Yeah.
He's a good ranter for sure. Francis says that's what supplements are for, to boost your immune system. But isn't it true, Janet, that alcohol lowers our immune system?
Are you revealing something about me here on live stream TV?
No. I'm just thinking.
Yes.
I mean,
although my tinctures are created, I macerate herbs in vodka for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
so
that sounds very private. I don't think you should talk about that on the internet, Janet. Janet's like, I'm just minding my business, and Ben had to bring me forward over here. This is great. Martin says, thank you, Janet. I'm taking a minimum of 5,000 IU of vitamin D. I will take your advice on picking fire cider.
Right. And you know what? I heard vitamin C is really fighting the COVID too. I've been hearing that lately. So pump up with your vitamin C.
Tim has a request to let this guy in backstage here. Should we do it? See what it's about?
Okay. All right.
Hey, what's up, Popeye? Okie dokie then. Okie dokie. This guy looks insane. Oh my gosh. He's like playing some crazy music. He's cursing. Oh, this is trippy.
He's yelling at us.
I know, he's really going.
Oh, good, he left. I'm scared.
Every time I kick him out, he keeps coming back in. I guess that's the last time.
Wait, Nicole has a good question I'm going to put up. She
says, you're both cracking me up here. Oh my goodness, I gotta focus. This guy really.
It's scary. You're scaring me. It
was super scary, wasn't it? Nicole, I mean, it's funny we could laugh because it's like these people are not like in our actual studio. Imagine if that person was actually in there. Nicole says, Ben, what's a sales biz dev tip you have for us service providers out here when approaching potential clients, especially now that everything's virtual? I got to be honest, Nicole. You're screwed. You're totally screwed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, Nicole, I think you have something that's really valuable. Actually, it was one of the first things that kind of caught my eye about you is that, you know, I think you have a personal brand. And you know, you have your MBA intercultural. You know, and I know you probably mean this as more of a general question for other people, but I'm going to speak to you and use you as an example here. But I mean, you have a personal brand. You know, you speak places, right? You put yourself out there. You manage that intentionally. And I think all too often, biz dev people get focused on selling their company, and they don't think about selling themselves. And I think that we have to understand that our personal brand in 2020, our personal brand is more important than our company's brand. Now, business owners out there don't want to hear that because they think their company brand is so important and that's what they're paying you to hawk. But the truth of the matter is nobody cares about your company's name. They just care about you. And so I think you need to lead with your personal brand. And so when you start thinking in terms of that, biz dev people out there, I know most of the people watching this probably are biz dev people. You know, when you think of that, I think it changes the way that you market. I think it changes your messaging, right? It's not like, hey, you got 5 minutes to understand 1, 2, 3 things about university moving and storage. Instead, it's like, you know, hey, Janet, you know, how's the family doing? How's the herbal tea gig going? What are you drinking today? You know, and you start making relationships with people and be somebody that somebody wants to talk to. Like there's so many things vying for people's attention today. Be somebody that somebody else wants to talk to.
Yeah.
Nicole, perfect. She wrote
I'm
that.
trying to think of Nicole's fiddle leaf plant name. I want to say Jack, but I don't think that's right.
Let's see if we can get it before she tells us.
Yeah. It could. Oh, Carl.
Carl. Is it with a C or with a K?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's with a C.
I think it's with a K. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going C. You're going K.
Well, but I'm thinking you could even use that, Nicole. Talk about your fiddle leaf and or your dancing and. You know, Ben, you encouraged me to talk about my teas a little bit as a way for people to get to know me personally. And I find that virtual actually has been easier because we're so much more open, like through the Love and Relo platform to meet each other and comment. I've made so many friends just from your audience. So
I agree. Yeah. That's another thing. You know, that's another great tip. I was actually just talking to somebody. I said, you need to get on the show. Like you need to come on the show and you need to get active in the comments. And I think when people hear me say that, they think, okay, Ben's just trying to get me to watch his stupid little show and do the comments or whatever. But the truth is people like meet people through the comments and they're like, oh, I like Nicole. She's really sweet and nice and really smart and has really great questions. And, you know, there's Shaniqua, great question. And like, then all of a sudden you're developing all this goodwill here. Joseph's telling Giovanni is VNR. I don't even know what this is or what this means, but that's the person. And he's back here again under another pseudonym. Alan Brown, OMG, yeah. Tim Quirk, awesome, yeah. I know it's wild out here. Henri says I roasted Oded by accident the other day. I thought it was his birthday too. Oh, I know everybody was going in on Oded. Let's go up here and see what we've got here. Rory wants people to sing. Any other questions or comments you've got? We've got a few minutes here before the end. Mike Quigley, got to drop on Book a Move. Benny, love you, brother. Mike, I don't understand.
Good, Mike. Yay.
Mike more moves than anybody. I don't understand. He's got to drop.
Mike, you need to come on and tell us your tips for booking moves.
Yeah, seriously. Somebody book a move for me, huh? Jim Walsh, you are both doing a terrific job. How about a weekly Golden Nuggets email that you can share with the distribution list? What do you think about that, Janet?
More work. How about Jim? Why don't you come?
Hey, Jim, write my nuggets.
Hey, Jim, why don't you write our nuggets to share? Jim, yeah, that's a good idea.
You want a Golden Nuggets email? Write a Golden Nuggets email, Jim.
Be on our team, Jim.
Yeah, Jim, you ain't got nothing to do, huh? I'm just kidding, Jim, but seriously, write that email. Henri, no, I mean, you're right. I think about that a thousand, a thousand times, right? It's like, wouldn't it be cool to write an email and
I already have my hands full. I want you to know, like 2 weeks ago, Ben called me up and said, Janet, I need you to do more.
And Janet says to me, dude, she like stretched it out of me too. She's like, dude. And I was like, oh, fine. I was really projecting, honestly. I needed to do more, and I was projecting. I needed to do more because I'm not doing more.
Francine said Jack had something good.
What?
Francine said
Jack had something good.
Hold on, let me go back. She said,
Henri, let me take Henri's real quick.
Okay.
Henri says we should have the Eurovision contest on Love and Reload. Totally outlandish. Henri, what is Eurovision? Throw a link down there. I don't know these crazy shows. Is that on like BN? I don't even know what that is. Ben Suki, I believe that business and artistic creativity are not mutually exclusive. What work of art has been meaningful to you in the last year? Oh my gosh, Ben. What work of art has been meaningful to you in the last year? I mean, this is really difficult. When I think art, like when I think like like art, like aesthetic art, the thing that stands out to me the most though, Jen, is when I was working from home and I had my Picasso, my woman before a mirror, Picasso in the background, and then I kind of collaged over it with the Love and Reload because my wife like the idea of surreal nudity in the background, and so I put the Love and Reload over that, and that kind of like became our little thing for a while, and that kind of meant a lot to me. So, Janet, did you have something?
I guess I was thinking he's saying in the last year, so I feel like there's been a lot of things that have come out documentary wise that speak of racism, things like that. So that's where my mind went when he said in this last year. And he said not only, he was saying music, film, art, TV. So I just think a lot came out to make us more aware. And
when you talk about that, so I love where you went with that. When you talk about that though, the two things that stick out to me most are things that people I know produced on LinkedIn. One is what Thomas Bailey did for Black History Month. And he talked to some people, including John Fernandez was one of them, and a couple other people about their story. And another was, was it Bridget Bolden, I think, from Postal Service, who told her story as a Black woman and finding a church, and she thought she found her home church, and then she realized that she wasn't at home.
I didn't see that. Yeah,
but it was tremendous. And you know what I think is so beautiful about that is those are both just people that we know that decided to tell their story. And it didn't require, like, you don't need to be Martin Scorsese to do that. You just turn on your camera and you speak from the heart and you tell your story, and it can change people. It can change people's whole perspective. I've seen such a shift this year with people who thought they kind of like had a grip on everything going on. I think we all kind of go through life and we think we got it pretty much figured out, sans curveballs from time to time. And I feel like this year shattered all semblance of normalcy.
Mm-hmm.
But the good news to that is it was an opportunity for us to rebuild our understandings, right? And I've seen so many people's thinking evolve this year and grow, including my own. And
me too.
It's been a true blessing, And so I think some of the art that's being created, Ben, that's changing people's lives right now is being created by people like us on this platform, Ben. And I encourage anybody that's watching this right now to like don't like take it seriously and feel pressure, but just see it like as an opportunity. Like you got something to say, like say it, And if you need a platform, come on here and say it, and we'll talk about it together. You know?
Yeah, I mean, when Ben was on, he even changed I shared that on LinkedIn. It just changed my mindset about, needing a tree cut down and complaining what it was going to cost. And then I realized it's providing someone a job, and it just changed my attitude. And that was because of Ben. And so, yeah, just sharing like we've been sharing has when you're open, you can change.
Wow. That's great, Janet. Oh, it makes me feel so nice. Hosea, hello, Ben and Janet. Sorry I missed out Friday. It's all right, Hosea.
We missed you, Hosea.
Missed you, buddy. Rory says, did you hear about the dung beetle who walked into the bar? He asked, is this stool taken? Oh, shit.
Rory has a new job.
Yeah, Rory, what do you do? Aren't you supposed to go to work? Remember, you're not working for Johnny
We
A
miss you
anymore.
daily, Rory.
Yeah, where you been, Rory?
But how's the new job going?
Yeah, Rory, how's the job going, Rory? He must have got fired already. He wouldn't be on here. He told me he wouldn't have any time anymore to be on these shows anymore. So I must be looking again.
And he even shared with me about his wife, makes his lunch every day, and how blessed he is. So we've gotten to know each other personally, and we've never met.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
What's for lunch, Rory? All right, Anka, I'd like to see a gratitude segment and a fail segment. We have all failed in some way in our careers, but many don't want to talk about it. Force people to be honest. What do you think, Janice? Should we ask Should we ask each person that comes on from now on to tell us?
We'll add that to the questionnaire.
Gratitude and fail. We got to think about how we do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's one moment you failed? Tell us a story of a moment you failed, and tell us something that tell us about gratitude.
I like it.
I like that too, Anka. That's beautiful. People need to trust the vaccine safety. Yeah, I mean, trust has more to do with the person trusting than it does with the person being trusted. So that's what I think about. Ryan Ben, what's up, Ryan? I love Ryan. Ryan, of all, Jen, I want to say something about this man. I haven't even read this comment. First of all, this man right here is an amazing man. Okay. And of all my friends, and I'd like to think I have a lot, who all tell me how, much I've done for them and how important I am, whatever to them. And it means the world to me. But this is the only guy that's ever asked me to be the best man in his wedding.
Aww.
And can I tell you what a blessing it was to have the honor to be Ryan Beal's best man, especially because he's such a great man himself.
Aww, that's sweet.
Let's see what he says. Ben, you are I hope he doesn't say something terrible. Ben, you're a very self-made man in your industry and have accomplished so much through hard work, dedication, passion for your craft. What other passions do you pursue in life? Hats, a crisp tie dimple. Help us get to know Ben, the person. First of all, Ryan, I would argue this premise that, there's a rule, right? If somebody wants to give you a compliment, you don't argue with them. But I'm going to argue this premise because I don't believe anyone is a self-made anything. Because we all needed help from day one. The first day we came into this world, somebody helped us. And don't for one second out there think, and I'm talking to everybody out there, don't for one second out there think that you're a self-made person. Now, some of us have helped ourselves a little more than others, but I think that is one of the notions that we use to then discriminate against other people and say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, when in fact we've all had hands up in our career. We can all point to people, if we're being honest, we can all point to people who have helped us in our career, and we should. However, that being said, yes, I do like a beautiful tie dimple. I truly do. It is one of the joys of my life. Yes, I love hats. Honestly, so funny. Passions I pursue in life. Like I like people a lot, but I do a lot of this work stuff. Like I like making videos on the internet. Like, it's like kind of funny. Like people think that's so cheesy, and I'm just saying that like because the camera's on. I think you guys know, like, I'm not going to BS you. Like, that's just like what I'm into. So, I don't know, Ryan. I probably need more hobbies. Probably start exercising. I bought a bike. Bought an exercise bike, Janet.
That's amazing. I heard you talking or saw you talking about it, but you didn't tell me about it.
Yeah. Olivia bought it. She talked me into it, and so she bought it. And then Tommy Canoli from Relo Solutions Group is going to put it together for me. So shout out to Relo Solutions Group.
Awesome. Yeah, I need to get one of those. I bought a regular bike to ride around the neighborhood, but sometimes it's too hot here.
Yeah. That's why you gotta stay inside with these old bikes. Segment idea. Sandra says types of clients include entertainers, corporate execs, medical, construction, short-term assignments, folks relocating insureds, vacationers, and locals in my area. The high caliber guests come from outside. Please do a segment on vetting locals. We're gonna have to take that offline. Yeah, let's see here. People are working. Anything else that jumps out to us? Oh, Jack, what is something nobody in our industry is talking about? We'll love to hear other thoughts on as well on this one. So this is a question I ask people when they do their questionnaire. I think it's a fairly unfair question because it's kind of super hard, which is why I ask it. Janet, is there anything in your area that people aren't talking about? Oh, anything in your area that you can think of, Janet, that people aren't talking about? What about U.S. flag waivers? Do you come across this at all, Janet?
I do corporate, so I don't do, yeah. But my company does. I just don't get involved in that.
So forwarders out there that do government business, whether it be military or GSA, when you do federal government business, they require it on a ship with a U.S. flag. What's ironic about this is U.S. flag carriers, to my knowledge, can really be foreign-owned carriers, but they have a registered entity in the United States. So Hapag-Lloyd, for instance, which is a German company, has a U.S. flag office in Tampa, and so they're a U.S. flag carrier, and so government shipments can only travel in their stuff. But the problem is it creates so much more cost. It creates there's far fewer boats you can use. So there's all this like shipping issues that are created by these policies that, like, at 30,000 feet, you can understand why people would want this, but it's one of those things that, so I mean, I think there's policies like that we need to take a look at. We need to bring up, and I'd love to bring them up on this show if people have policies like that they'd love to just air out.
One thing that I find it may not make sense, but to me, I find it interesting that we have immigration attorneys, right, for being able to bring talent or move talent, but immigration attorneys did not really know about the U.S. customs rules and regulations. So I find that interesting because you could get the visas to move the person, but do you then know that you can bring their household goods? So as far
I guess
as
there are different types of law.
Huh?
Are like the different types of law, you think? I mean,
I don't know, because I've asked, I had a question. I'm trying to remember what the situation was. Anyway, I don't
it's
have
okay.
it.
It's all right. We got
but
that.
And maybe I'm wrong. I'd like to hear. I just find that interesting because you might be able to get the person their job, but are you going to be able to move their household goods? And I feel like it may be two separate things when I feel like it should be together.
I think people would argue that owning and shipping household goods may not be a thing anymore either, which, as a person contemplating a move, I can understand that as well. I feel like I'd love to see the long-term cost benefit of owning versus renting household goods. Like, if you're in a home for, like, is it more than 3 years? Is it more than 4 years? Is it more than where it makes more sense to own the household goods, to like buy them, pay for the cost to ship them versus renting them on a month-to-month basis? Janet, you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
No, it's a subject matter that's kind of not new. It's been talked about, and I just think it depends on where you're moving. Like, for example, some Europeans that maybe move to the United States come with maybe little, but then buy more because it's cheaper to buy here and ship it back. Those kind of things. And I mean, today's day and age with COVID, and people probably won't want to rent used furniture. But I mean, that's been a discussion, buying new versus shipping. Honestly, you can move someone overseas cheaper than you can move someone across the country half the times.
Yeah, that's interesting. Why is that, Janet?
Well, first of all, we are per 100 pounds. We're totally based on the weight. So if you have a domestic tariff, you're going to be paying for every box, the labor to pack it, every little inch is an additional fee, where with international, it's based on the weight pretty much. There are, of course, walk-ups and long carries, but and the ocean freight is so cheap most of the time.
Along the same lines as that, domestic tax versus international tax. So when you move internationally, you get a lot of times, you get like, tax preparation, you get, they do your taxes for you, right? Because they understand that it's difficult, to file taxes in a new country. But when you move from New Jersey to Pennsylvania, the changes in taxes, or from Texas to New Jersey, could be more difficult than it could be from moving from France to Germany, according to what I've heard from, I think it was David Altman said this at INEO. And yet nobody offers tax prep assistance for transferees domestically. So I think there's a lot of like stigma around moving internationally, also corporate housing, that doesn't exist domestically, when the duty of care issues are, frankly, the same or more in the U.S. That's my take, Jack. I hope I didn't disappoint. This is funny. This crazy guy keeps popping in here with all these different names, as if this is so funny. This is great. This is great. This guy is such a whack. Stephen Meyer says, I do have respect for you, Ben, a lot. You definitely are saying a lot of things need to be said. Unfortunately, they go unheard by your haters, but keep up the good work. Yeah, that's good, Jan. I was concerned too many people liked me. That's really great.
I said that the other day to someone, right?
I found a segment that really does not like me. That's really wonderful. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're running out of time. This has been a lot of fun.
Unexpected for me, but
it's a little dig at me, right? Unexpected for me. Laura says, hi guys, love your tea segments. Janet, yes, personal branding is a definite. I met so many wonderful peeps on your forum, yes, including you, Ben. I love when people bust chops. That's great. Henri says, valid point. Janet, the situation is pretty similar elsewhere. Heather Jameson, hi. Use of casual labor, Steve, right on, spot on. People don't realize all this labor on these jobs are like $200 cash guys. They're just cash labor guys. Like, everybody is using them.
Wow, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Tell us who is not using casual labor. If
local movers. Local movers. Anybody that's hauling long distance is using local movers and people that drive straight trucks. Short trucks, 26 foot. Because they're going out with two guys. So basically anybody that's running hourly employees aren't doing it. Anybody that's running contractors is. And when I say anybody that's running contractors, I mean all the major van lines, even the independents.
How did this guy get our link to come in?
I put it on the up on the website. Yeah. Henri says, any last parting words, Ben? I'm actually going to ask Janet that question. Janet?
Oh, no. That's funny. That's one of your questions. That's one of your, Henri is repeating you.
Yeah, he is. All right. Yeah. Henri, thank you so much for that question. I appreciate that. I've been waiting for someone to ask me that so I can conclude today's session. Hey, thanks for just coming along on this journey, both like today and like the whole year. This has been really, really awesome. I appreciate there's a ton of people chimed in today. Thank you for being here. I want you all to know that you make the conversation better just by being here, just by getting involved, just by leaving a comment or a question or a like. Your sheer presence improves the situation. And I want you to use that as a microcosm for life and understand, just by putting yourself out there a little bit, you can make everything else around you and your own situation better. So thank you so much for participating today. Thank you so much for being here. It's meant the world to me. And thank you, Janet. I appreciate you. I love you. And I appreciate the wonderful birthday you gave me on Friday.
Oh, I hope it was enjoyable. Thank you. See you guys all tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Lynn Greenberg.
Oh, yes. Lynn Greenberg talking about building social capital, which is interesting. on so many levels.
So I'll be working on the broadcasts. Forgive me, and we'll try to get more on the ball. We've been slipping up. I've been traveling a little bit and babysitting, so
that's it.
Back on track.
Hey,
Back
thanks
on track
everybody.
now.
Have a wonderful day. See y'all tomorrow. Take care.
Okay, bye.